Hey, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Remember when I told you guys that Benjamin Netanyahu was leading Trump by the nose? I said it felt like Netanyahu was lining Donald Trump up for something. I made a whole video about this. I made a video calling out the oddity of some of the intelligence that the Israelis were giving Trump's people. Eventually, last week, we saw Netanyahu's hand. Netanyahu got Trump to drop B-2 bombers on Iran's key nuclear sites.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
And here we are almost a week later. Trump's assertion that the bombers destroyed all of Iran's nuclear capabilities is looking increasingly presumptuous by the hour, right? Now, don't get me wrong. That was a cool moment. It was badass, right? I think we can all agree that nobody wants to see Iran get a nuclear weapon. That's just the truth, right? It was brave of Trump to take the first move like that, especially knowing it didn't have congressional approval, knowing that some of the intelligence was shoddy. It was pretty brave. But that assertion that the bombers destroyed all of Iran's nuclear capabilities is looking increasingly presumptuous. That moment has now been ruined because we're learning today that Trump celebrated too soon. Again, the Defense Intelligence Agency's assessment is that the U.S. set them back a few months, maybe a few months tops. This information was leaked to CNN today from sources inside Trump's defense intelligence circle. Here's Pete Hegseth, Trump's defense secretary, trying to explain this all the way.
First reports are almost always wrong. They're almost always incomplete, right? Anything, whether it's a squad level operation or a strategic level operation, the initial reflections you get are coming at you at a high rate of speed from a lot of different sources. So your job is to step back and assess them. And that's why we're urging caution about premising entire stories on biased leaks to biased publications trying to make something look bad. How about we take a beat, recognize first the success of our warriors, hold them up, tell their stories, celebrate that, wave an American flag, be proud of what we accomplished. And in the meantime, I can assure you, the chairman and his staff, the intelligence community, our staff and others are doing all the assessments necessary to make sure that mission was indeed successful.
This is absolutely embarrassing. So Pete Hegseth stood there and said, first reports are almost always wrong. Let's take a beat and wait for more information. Yeah, you should have done that. You should have taken your own advice, dude. Like, Trump's team chose to conclude that they had succeeded in their mission, not based on any concrete evidence. They came out and declared that they had destroyed Iran's nuclear capabilities based on extrapolation. They dropped 14 bunker busters on target, and they made conclusions based on the presumption of success, based on just the sheer force they expect those bunker busters to carry. So this is truly an embarrassing situation. This is compounded by the fact that Ayatollah Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, is now out from hiding, and he is basically jeering the United States. Listen to this. Listen to this.
مراکز هسته‌ای ما حمله کردن که البته این در خور پیگیری جزایی در دادگاه‌های بین‌المللی است به طور مستقل، اما نتوانستن کار مهمی انجام بدن. رئیس جمهور آمریکا در شرح اونچه که واقع شده بود بزرگ نمایی غیر متعارفی کرد. معلوم شد که به این بزرگ نمایی احتیاج داره. جمهوری اسلامی سیلی سختی به گونه آمریکا نواخت. به یکی از پایگاه‌های مهم آمریکا در منطقه، پایگاه العدید، حمله کرد و خساراتی وارد کرد.
The choice of words is important here. He said the United States failed to do anything significant. He said Trump clearly needed to exaggerate the damage they actually did. and that Iran delivered a hard slap to the US. It just keeps getting worse. Everywhere you look, it just keeps getting worse. Trump's team is deep in damage control right now. They have to find an off-ramp. They're threatening the people who let this information get out. They are rebuking the media for calling them out on their bullshit. And they are doing everything to save face right now. The crazy thing is that they're still insisting that they obliterated Iran's nuclear capability, even when the UN's nuclear watchdog says they found no increased radiation at those sites. Like, we've known this for 4 days. They were trying to cover this up and it got out clearly. So I can't say I'm surprised. If anything, I'm surprised they managed to actually execute the mission before it got out with Pete Hegseth in the room, right? So who won this whole fiasco? Who won this whole fiasco? This is an embarrassment for Trump. Let's just start there. It's an embarrassment for Trump and his team. Not only have they taken a shot at Iran based on shoddy intelligence that they were building a nuclear bomb, they missed. Trump gambled and took the shot even when his own director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, said there was no imminent threat of Iran building a nuclear bomb. He overruled her. He said she was wrong. Trump basically declared war on behalf of the United States without approval from Congress. I'm just going to say this right now. He got lulled by Benjamin Netanyahu into fighting Israel's war. So it looks bad. I don't think Trump comes out of this looking good at all. For Iran, I think it will be ill-advised for them to declare victory, even if they are. They're talking real tough, coming out of hiding for some reason. But it will be ill-advised because Israel clearly knows how to pull Donald Trump's strings. A little bit of flattery here and there, sprinkle in a suggestion that Iran was actually responsible for the assassination attempts on Trump. Next thing you know, America is involved. I think a lot of MAGA people are realizing just how unhealthy America's attachment to Israel is. And now Iran can say they took the best of America's weapons short of a ground invasion, and their nuclear facilities passed the test. They can say they've done it now. This is potentially really, really bad for the world if they choose to pursue nuclear weapons in the future. For Israel, this has to be seen as a win. They attacked their greatest enemy, and at worst, they set them back a few months. They showed them that they can take them on even on their own soil. They also managed to get the United States involved. They showed that they can manipulate Trump, right? Netanyahu has been trying for decades to get an American president to attack Iran, and he finally found the perfect mark. I did tell you guys that he was leading Trump by the nose. Yeah. So now it's a matter of pride for Trump. If this ceasefire between Iran and Israel does not hold, what will Donald Trump do? Can he afford to stay out of it? Now, clearly, the United States would prefer not to have boots on the ground, but is that the direction that this is going? Anyways, how do you guys see this playing out? I really want to know. I think Israel came out best in this round. Iran probably comes out looking decent as well. In my opinion, this is not Trump's finest hour. It is probably the biggest embarrassment of his term as president, first and second term. So actually, this could be a good game. If you know of a more embarrassing moment of Trump's presidency, let me know in the comments. And hey, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, okay? I'll see you next time. Peace.